Everyone, my name is Ukolo Jedaya, also known as the Fireball. In my previous video, I said I was going to be explaining Law 3, and here it is. Law 3 says, conceal your intentions. Always keep others off balance and in the dark by never revealing the true purpose behind your actions. If they cannot guess what you're up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path. Envelope them in enough smoke, and by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. Now, Law 3 is divided into two parts, and in this video, I'm only going to be taking part 1, which says use decoy objects and red herrings to throw people off the scent. If at any point in the deception you practice, people have the slightest suspicion as to your intentions, all is lost. Do not give them the opportunity to sense what you're up to. Use red herrings to throw them off the scent. Send ambiguous signals and set us misleading objects of desire. Unable to distinguish the genuine from the false, they cannot pick out your real goal. Now I'm going to talk about the transgression of the law in this part. Over the first few weeks, the Lanclos listened patiently as Marcus de Seville explained his struggles in capturing a beautiful but difficult young countess. At first, Nina was amused to hear about his mistakes, but finally she had had enough. She decided to take the young man under her wing. First, he had to understand that he was at war, and this young woman was his citadel, to which he had to lay siege to as carefully as any general. Every step had to be planned and executed with utmost attention to detail and nuance. First, Nino advised the Marquis to start over. He should approach the contest with an air of nonchalance and confide in her as only a friend, but not a potential lover. Once the countess was confused, it would be time to make her jealous. Not only would she be sitting with jealousy, she would come to see that the Marquis is someone who is desired by others. After she is jealous but intrigued, it would be time to beguile her. On Linod's instructions, the Marquis would fail to show up at affairs where the Countess expected to see him, but she would begin to show up at places where he never attended before, but that the Countess frequented often. She would be unable to predict his moves. This would push her into a state of emotional confusion, which is a prerequisite for successful seduction. These moves were planned and executed. It took several weeks, and from Ninon's network of spies, she began to find out that the young woman was falling under his spell. After a few days, the Marquis was at the Countess's home, but suddenly he was a different man, acting on his own impulse rather than on Ninon's instructions. He took all of the Countess's hands and told her that he was in love with her, but she became confused, a reaction which he did not expect. Then she politely excused herself from his presence and for the rest of the evening avoided his eyes and was not even there to say goodnight to him. The next few times he visited, he was told that she was not at home. The next time that she admitted him, the two felt awkward and uncomfortable with each other. The spell had been broken. And let me take this to real everyday life discussion. If you are always concealing your intentions in your place of work or maybe in the school, you're always a step ahead because people will not know what you're up to. Then you can strategize to maybe destroy your enemy or get yourself a promotion. Keeps the power of this law. People, most people are open books. They say what they feel, blot out their opinions at every opportunity, and constantly reveal their intentions and plans. They do this for several reasons. First, it is easy and natural to talk about your feelings and plans for the future. It takes great effort to monitor your tongue and control what you reveal. Second, people think that by being honest and open, they are winning people's hearts and showing their good nature. They are greatly deluded. Honesty is a blunt instrument, which blood is more than it cuts. So honesty can offend people, and it is much more prudent to tailor your words. If you yearn for power, quickly lay honesty aside. and train yourself in the art of concealing your intentions. Basic to an ability to conceal your intentions is a simple fact about human nature. We always trust appearances. This makes it relatively easy to conceal your intentions. Just dangle an object of desire which you seem to want, but you're not at all interested in, and you throw your enemies off the scent, and they will make all kinds of errors in their calculations. So, the way that you can use a decoyed object of desire is that you should first dangle it in front of the person's eyes, and they will think that that is your real goal, but it is not. The second one is that you can also use false sincerity to conceal your intentions. Concealing your intentions is not by closing up with the risk of appearing secretive, thereby arousing suspiciousness. But you can also open up and talk endlessly about your opinions and your goals, just not your real ones. You will kill three birds with one stone. You will appear open, friendly, you will conceal your intentions, and you will send your enemies on time consuming wild goose chases. Remember, the best deceivers do all they can to cloak their roguish qualities. They use red herrings and false sincerity and honesty to cover themselves in one area and their dishonesty in others. Honesty, false sincerity is just another decoy in their arsenal of weapons. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for Note 3 Part 2.